Alright, CNT140, we're working on our bid spec. We're down to the section on our equipment closet. So I have this folder open, and I'm going to open the notes page here for our equipment closet, the needs for our equipment closet. We'll let this load. The top here is a reminder of kind of where we are so far. One of the last things we did was do our cable support, the cable trays, J-hooks in our building. So we're now going to move into the closet and look at the equipment we need in here. So our brainstorm list so far is we need an actual rack to put the equipment, a distribution rack. We should have patch panels previously, but we're going to make sure we have those on our cost sheet for this section of the plan. We are going to need some panels to organize the cabling, support the cabling, organize the cabling. We'll show you what that is in a minute. In real life, we would worry about switches, routers, UPSs, that sort of thing. We're not going to worry about that in this plan. We're just going to stick to the cabling components, the layer 1 components, if you will. But in real life, we would have these kind of things in the closet as well. We will need some patch cables to go between the switches and the patch panels. So we need to make sure we have those in here as well. And then ideally we might need a section or two of cable tray for our closet. So if we start looking down through, one of the first things we'll need is a rack to put our equipment in. In many of the closets we can get by with a 2-post rack. If we were dealing with some servers or maybe some large switches, we might need a 4-post rack, giving us more support, especially for the long rack mountable servers. We might need a 4-post rack. For our plan, we just have some patch panels and switches, so we should be okay with just a 2-post equipment rack. We have our patch panels previously, so we're just going to make sure we have those there. We are going to need some sort of wire management. This is the kind of piece that would go below the patch panel or below the switch to organize the patch cabling going in and out. I'm going to show you what I'm using in my plan called Neat Patch. There is more than one manufacturer that has stuff like this out there. It's a little panel that goes between your switch and your patch panel, and they have little teeny patch cables that loop from the switch down to the patch panel, and it organizes it and keeps it all, tidied away, if you will. I'm going to end up doing that for my plan. So let's take a look at getting some equipment for the plan. This actually is my final plan. I'll pop over here to the spreadsheet. This actually is my final plan, but let's show you how we got those. Previously, we had the patch panels. We were doing 24-port patch panels because that kind of lines up with what we had in Packet Tracer. So let's take a look at the equipment rack. I'm going to go to Cable Organizer here. I'm going to scroll down to they do have racks and enclosures. And if I scroll down, you'll see they actually have open frame racks. That's kind of what we're looking for our plan. Other places you might actually have ones that, close up and lock up and that sort of thing. But we can get by with these for our plan, for what we're doing. And you have a couple different... we have a couple different manufacturers here. I believe I went down to like this style here, Triplate 2-post open frame rack. In here, when I open it up, they do actually have an option for 2-post and 4-post. So if I did need to get one to mount servers in, I could do it right here. You notice that they have 45U and 25U. 45U is the standard, standard height equipment rack. 25U is basically a half rack. So maybe in a smaller closet, smaller facility, you could get by with that. We're going to stick with the 45U 2-post rack. So if I do that right here, this actually gives me a model number and a price that I can put into my spreadsheet, which is what I did. I grabbed this name, this model number, this price, and put it into my equipment rack. Okay, there's my 45U 2-post rack, model number, price, and then I put the URL out here. And I broke it out. I listed one for this closet and one for this closet, just so I'm kind of being thorough. All right, so there would be, we had the patch panels previously. Here's the equipment racks now. We now need some cable management. So let me go back out here to the home, and we're looking for something to organize the patch cables between the switch and the patch panel. So if I go here to, I believe where we go to I think our patch panels are actually under Network Products. So we're going to go to Network Products, and I think this is where they have the patch panels. Yeah, good. So this is where I can get my patch panels if I haven't done so previously. And I think I did, what did I do on mine? Oh, black box. Yeah, I used black box. I think it was up here along the line. So I use these guys right here. And this is where I can get my category 6 24 port patch panel to kind of match what we had in our in Packet Tracer. As I scroll down here, there's your different options, okay? So I'm going to back out now, and I believe in here they also have, do they have wire management panels? No, they do not. Okay, so we'll back out here to home again, and it might actually be under the cable management here. And I think if I look carefully, they do have, where did they have those? Maybe not. I think it might be, I'm trying to remember exactly where they had those. I think I'm going to go to open all the categories here. And we want to look for, here we go, in our racks and enclosures where they actually have the rack cable management. I knew it was not in the obvious area. That's why I was trying to show you how I found it. So here's your rack cable management. This would be a standard, horizontal cable manager. It is just a panel that mounts in the rack that can support your patch cables as they're coming out of the patch panel. This can support them till it goes down to the patch panel or the switch, either direction you're going. That would be a standard one. I opted for this guy up here, and you see there's other ones in here as well. This one actually does, I think they do have a picture too. There you go. So if I have my switch up here, there's a little teeny patch cable that loops around, and this area here, this panel here, if you will, has storage area in for any excess patch cable, and then goes right into our patch panel. So this unit itself, they do make, if you take a peek here, it's a 24 quantity 24 port Cat 6 neat patch system. This would allow you to put just that one panel between each switch and patch panel. That's what I opted for because it even comes with your patch cables. So this right here is a neat solution. So I put that in my plan. Cable management for Closet 113, neat patch with 24 category 6 cables. So that whole unit, that panel plus the patch cables all comes together. And I needed two because I have 2 patch panels in the closet, and then the same thing in the other closet. I have 2 patch panels, so I need 2 of these as well. So I just opted for those, but you could go the route of getting a basic wire management panel here, and then just order any necessary patch cables that you would need for your plan. You would need to get 2 of these, one for under the patch panel and then one for under the switch, if you will. You would need to get 2 of those if you go that route. And I think I have out in the directions here just that thought. If you go this route, you need 1 for patch panel, 1 for switch. Here you can get by with just 1 for each patch panel and switch combo. So there is my equipment for the closet. The next thing we need to do is we need to make sure our Packet Tracer file is looking correct. Okay, so I'm going to open my Packet Tracer file. If I open my closet, I should be seeing my 2 patch panels in here. This does not have an option for like any wire management panels or anything like that, so that's okay. We just want to make sure we have both patch panels wired up and ready to go. And we're going to double check our other closet as well. And I'm just leaving those cables there for now. If you right click on top, you can do manage all cables and it puts them away to make them look neat, but I'm leaving them out. I'm leaving them out to show me that I do have it wired up and ready to go. So just make sure you have that in your Packet Tracer file. Okay, so I put a little reminder here, make sure they're all cabled up and ready to go. The last thing we need to do is we need to make a drawing that shows this is what our closet equipment will look like. And we actually do this for more than one reason. One is documentation. You eventually need documentation of things like model numbers, serial numbers, that sort of thing. This also is a diagram can be given to one of your technicians to go in and set up your closet, especially if this is a new install. And this is also a way to find out will all of our equipment fit what we're planning. So here is my finished sample. Okay, let me show you how we get there. So in my drive here, I'm going to do a new. Okay, I'm going to go new to new, and our draw.io program that we used back in 120. We're going to use this. Let me close a couple extra things out here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do a blank diagram. I'll give it a name up here, something like 140 closet diagram kind of thing. And that'll be good enough for my sample here right now. I'll create that. And then I do need to make sure, if you haven't done this previously, I do need to make sure under shapes that I have selected rack down here. I need to make sure rack is selected. If you haven't done that, do that and then do apply, because that'll make sure those shapes are available for you. So now what you can do is literally type in here rack. And here's some options for a rack cabinet and one that's numbered. You can drop in here and you can drag this to size. We don't need to go to the whole 45, but I can drag it large enough to have my equipment in. Once I have that, I can start putting my equipment in. So we'll start with, let's do rack patch panel. And here is a 24 port, so I'm going to grab that and drop it in. I know it says 5E, but it's still showing the 24 port patch panels, which we need. I will need a wire management panel. Here's the other reason I selected this for our equipment. If you type in neat patch, they do actually have the neat patch panel here, which is pretty slick. So that actually kind of matches what we're doing. And then I'm going to put in here 24 port switch, and I'm going to say I'll put rack in this with as well. And I should get some options for 24 port switch. And I'm not going to be too picky on matching a specific number. I'm just looking for, so there's some 48s. There's some 48s. I'm going to kind of grab, I think this is a 24 port right here. We go. I'm just going to grab that and put it in. It's really just our placeholder to show what we're doing. And there would be the first patch panel and switch combo in my closet. And I'm going to need to repeat that for the second patch panel combo. Well, let's be smart. Let's be smart. I'm going to label this here. This will be my 24 port patch panel. Mr. Brown can type. Okay. I'm going to do my wire management panel. And then I'll say this is my 24 port gig switch kind of thing. Now, you notice the text went below, so I'm going to highlight the switch. Off here to the right, I click the text tab, and I can adjust the position, and I'll adjust it to the right side. And I will increase the spacing over here. I'll add a couple more points to it to get it to pop out to the side. Somewhere around 20 should be about right. Now that I have that, I can copy this. I will paste it, drag it down, and I can put it right there, or I can kind of flip it around. A lot of times you'll do this. You'll have both switches next to each other. So you might have this arrangement in the rack, like that kind of thing. And there would be my first closet. I can copy paste this to make my second closet. But before I do, I will double click on this and put a note down here that this is my 113. I'll actually say Hall Tech 113 closet. Okay. Then I can copy paste this to make the 124A closet. And I might want to put a power strip in here to kind of make it look a little more realistic. And I could even, if I wanted to, put a UPS in here. I know we're not factoring that in for the plan, but I could make this look a little bit more realistic for our site. There would be my power strip and UPS in the bottom rack. What I could do now is just highlight this whole thing, copy, paste, slide this one over here, and then quick relabel this guy as the Hall Tech 124A. And if I need to adjust anything, I could at that point. But there can be my rack drawings. When I'm done, once I'm done neatening it up at all, I would want to do a file, export as JPEG. Okay, that'll be the file we need for submitting to D2L, and I can download to my computer or whatever. But that'll be the file we save and submit to D2L. So there is my closet equipment and the pieces we need for our plan.